Corporate responsibility spans across all areas touched by what you do, how you do it, and who you do it for. Now, given the nature of SANRAL's work across the country, environmental considerations to mitigate impact are quite important. And this requires experts like Mogole Mphahlehle. Perhaps let's start with getting an overview, because some people might not realize that a roads agency needs a guy like you. Talk to us about some of the environmental questions, issues that need to be raised and answered by someone like you.
Delivery of a road or building a road, Peter, it's a construction which will impact communities where you deliver it. It will impact the environment. It will require resources to be built. Now, to achieve that, you are going to affect a whole number of stakeholders. And it's also a regulated undertaking. You need to do certain things. I'll give an example. For certain sizes of roads, you are going to need to do an environmental impact assessment. So you need someone knowledgeable on the side of the developer being SANRAL, to assist the agency to do the right things by law, and also to talk to local communities that will be affected by the infrastructure that you're going to bring, so that their concerns or inputs can be taken on board in your delivery of that road. You also have local people that will have interest, being your suppliers and the labor that you must source from the community. All these stakeholders put together, they need to have a friend on the side of SANRAL whom they can approach, who can take on board what their needs are and make sure that all that needs to be delivered is done accordingly.
All right, so now given the size of our road network and the reliance on it, I would imagine that the impact on the environment is something that's quite significant. And as I'm hearing you speak, there's a lot that happens before, that happens during construction, and then on an ongoing basis. So let's talk a little bit about, with all of this in mind, what kind of things are you doing as SANRAL to mitigate the effects on the environment with the work that the agency does?
We, as an agency, Peter, we have to do certain things right and do them well. And I'll make this point, that when you build a road, you are going to impact communities. You are going to impact the environment. You are also going to impact the livelihoods of certain people. Roads connect people, and also roads can divide communities. If I make an example, if you have a high-level road, high-mobility road, which you want limited access to it, it means if you're going to survey a community, it's going to be impacted, because those on the left and those on the right will not have the easy passage they used to. Now, those are the considerations that you bring into a development of a road. But what do? When we build a road, you have to do planning upfront, which will bring to light all considerations that must be had prior to delivery of that road. When we do all of that, it is packaged together in a study, an environmental impact assessment study. Now, what that will do, it will take the social components of the project, the economic components of the project, and the biophysical components of the project, and undergird them with a governance layer to say, all these three legs need to balance out. We can build the best design road money can buy, but can the community live with it? Can the two extremes that you want to connect benefit optimally with it? Now, that balance is brought together in that study to say, finally, for that problem which you want to deliver that road for, the design solution is equitable socially, environmentally is least impacting, and socio-politically is also acceptable. So those are the measures that you bring in. You say, can we take out this tree? Can we leave it? Can we trim it? Can we do this? So there are three things you look at. Do we avoid impacting this particular tree? Or do we mitigate the impact, that is lessen it? Or do we offset? We take it out but plant other 10 trees elsewhere in the neighborhood. Or what do we do to enhance what we had found in the receiving area of the road? So those are the things that you bring into consideration.
That's fascinating. And, a lot of us don't understand just how complex some of these issues are. Sustainability is a big word now. United Nations has been pushing that for some time, and just the reality of the world that we live in now. And I just wonder, as we look and talk about Horizon 2030, that's National Strategy for Sustainable Development, talk to us a little bit about how SANRAL is stepping up to the plate.
Right. Sustainability, Peter, is a buzzword and has been for some time. But to simplify it, it mainly speaks of ecosystem sustainability. We derive our services and goods as a people. We take all advantage of where we are and the environment where we live. Now, we live in the most biodiverse country in the world. We are third most biodiverse country. So the richness of plant and animal globally, we are ranked third in the whole world. We are a developing country. Now, what it means is that what we have is at risk when development takes over of any form or shape, not only roads. So it is incumbent on us now as a country and as entities of government that we do the things that are right, that we don't lose what we have, which is our heritage, that biodiversity, which is the plant life and the animal life that is found here. In SANRAL, through Horizon 2030, we have taken cognizance of that fact to say we don't have finite resources to build these roads. We are a water-scarce country where needs be that we must conserve water in construction. We have to innovate to find ways of building the road with the least impact on water resources. Where we have wetlands, where we must build roads, we need to design such that we conserve those wetlands and they can coexist with the road. We always think that you can always go dig another borrow pit or quarry, but that is both expensive and not environmentally friendly. SANRAL 2030 strategy is cognizant of that. So the things that we tend to do, we innovate. We sometimes recycle the existing asphalt layer that need repairs and reuse instead of going to dig up virgin land where our biodiversity, which is ranking us third in the world, will be more endangered. So it's a balancing act. As a developmental country or a developing country, we need to build this infrastructure and deliver the services. On the other hand, we need to make sure that the things that we do don't erode our environmental sustainability.
I mean, I will carry on, I think, a little bit with this theme. Just ask a different question. And this is the Green Transport Strategy that was launched by the Department of Transport 2019.
Yeah.
What is SANRAL doing to contribute to that strategy?
Let me first state this on the Green Transport Strategy, Peter, and underscore the issues that it highlights. The Green Transport Strategy in it states that about 91% of our freight moves on roads. Now, if you think of that, it means we need also other sectors to come on board so that we can reduce the carbon footprint. The strategy speaks to the following things. It says we need intervention to reduce the carbon footprint. How do we do that? We need to move freight from road to rail. We need to move people out of private transport to public transport. We need to change engine combustion vehicles to electric vehicles. Those are very high-level interventions. And over time, since sustainability and sustainable development had been with us, we haven't really moved as well with the speed required to ensure that that which needs to be achieved in the strategy is achieved. We still have up to 2050 of the strategy, which is its life, whether we are going to be able to achieve all of that. But it's a work in progress, Peter. I think there is hope we should get there. We need to get Transnet working. We need to get PRASA working. And then when the road sector also is working, we are going to see the least need for upgrades and expansion of the road network, because we will be losing all that is on the roads now, either to public transport or to rail through freight. That's what SANRAL is trying to seek to achieve.
And we certainly wish you the best in terms of these endeavors, very important initiatives and work that you're doing. Mogole Mphahlehle, Environment Specialist at SANRAL, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks for inviting me.
Next week, we take a look at human capital. SANRAL is building more than just roads and infrastructure, it's building people as well. We find out more about SANRAL's transformation journey with Ismail Essa.